Is it, Susie?
We were just laughing because Sarah renamed my cheese board.
Yeah, I called it a patio plate.
We used to call it a balcony time plate.
Yeah.
That is a terrible name.
It doesn't roll off the tongue as easy when you have an actual patio outside.
And don't have a balcony
and don't
anymore.
have a balcony anymore.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to episode 254.
Woo!
Or as we like to call it, home.
We do call it
We
that.
don't.
I do. You do. And I do, actually.
I literally do.
You do. And this is my home away from home.
I have some housekeeping.
Oh, I love housekeeping.
Let me see what I have written down here.
This kind and the other kind.
Oh, I want to thank
I vacuumed today.
a faithful brainiac named Lissa who sent a book called Body Beliefs that she recommended, and I did read it and enjoyed it. It's about women, weight loss, and happiness.
Oh.
I like any kind of book about like getting to the bottom of stuff. It was really good.
Yep, and
So
anything
thank
that, if you guys like it, chances are good we're gonna like it too.
That was such a fun treat to
That's so nice.
get a surprise package.
Yeah.
What else did I want to say? Oh, one listener wrote in a while ago, and I've been meaning to talk about it but didn't. Her name is Vicky.
Mm-hmm.
And Vicky said that yesterday she was on Etsy, Canada, which is where she lives, and she found a cute Lego man cookie cutter that you could personalize with a name. And so she ordered one for her son, but she wanted one for her daughter, but she couldn't find any female Lego cookie cutters, which is a specific thing to be looking for.
Yeah,
but
I'm trying to, in my mind, think of like what if a Lego cookie cutter is.
I bet it's super cute.
Is it?
Like a man.
A cookie cutter. In
Instead
my
of,
head,
like-
I went to pizza cutter, and I was like, "Is it roll? Like what? A cookie cutter? I get it. Like a shape. That's an adorable thing, and how fun to make a Lego man cookie, and then you can decorate it, and it's super cute. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. And so she wrote to the person on Etsy, and the woman wrote back and said, good thing you caught me in time. I didn't have a woman, however, I'd be happy to make one. You'll have to keep an eye on her ponytail so that it doesn't burn, but
cute.
it should be fine if you do. And then she said, but this is the one thing I couldn't walk away from. If I didn't do it, I might help discourage a girl from loving science and technology, and that would kill me. That was what the artist wrote back saying. So I thought that was really cool.
It's
And
like they're both the same kind of female,
Right.
the creator and the person ordering it.
It was a really nice story.
Yeah.
And Vicky, thank you for sending that, because first of all, that's really cool that you spoke up. And funnily enough, the cookie lady was named Susan Butler, which is my married name.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So maybe,
That's
she's
like,
my...
that's like universal stuff.
That is weird,
It's
isn't
totally weird. Susie,
it? Yeah.
come on. Like,
Sarah likes that part the best.
well, the other day I got tagged in a photo, and it was, what is the name of the person? Susie. It was like a name that sounds exactly like yours, and I was tagged in it, but it wasn't me because it was a Sarah
that's
Rice.
right. Yeah.
And it was like Sarah Rice and Susie something performed together.
And we were
And
like,
I was
yeah,
like,
we do.
What? Is this us? And it wasn't even us.
Yeah. I wish it was. I wish it were.
Susie Mosher and Sarah Rice. And I was
crazy.
like, that's basically our names.
So close.
Like 2 letters were different. Anyways.
Anyway. We had to pause for a moment. But we're back.
I had to burp real loud. Amongst other things that we had to do.
Did you know? What if?
What if that were it? Just
like
Sarah had a
Elf.
burp.
Blah.
Right. Oh, it was so big.
Did you know that Barbie has a vlog,
A vlog?
a video blog?
No. Herbie. A few problems come to mind. Her being immobile and all, and no working parts.
Barbie, the Barbie doll, has.
I see her with a blog, but
Why? Why is that more believable?
I don't know, because like that's actually a good point.
She has. I guess it's on a YouTube channel, and it's the computer generated
I
version
see. I see.
of Barbie. And
It would be way more fun if it were
The
stop
doll.
motion. That's what I was thinking in my head, where it's like, ding, 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 ding. She walks out there and like tiptoes out in her little high heels. And she's like, hi, nice to see you. I'm doing arm gestures, which like
right.
make it look more like I'm talking like Barbie.
She goes out and talks to the camera just like a real YouTuber.
Yeah.
She's like, hey guys, so I was talking to my sisters and my mom, And we were talking about how we all say the word sorry too much. It's almost like a sorry reflex. And she started to describe how...
Okay, Barbie.
Okay, she's ready.
Oh, I didn't know Barbie all of a sudden was like an outspoken female feminist over here. Okay,
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Barbie
I
woke.
might need to subscribe.
Yeah. She
Click
was
below.
saying that, when people bump into you and you say sorry, or if like you get food at a restaurant and it's cold and you say, I'm so sorry, but can you heat this up? And
I say it 1,000 times a day.
oh, me too.
My husband sent me a text message. It was like, hey, you've been, low on the radar. How you doing or whatever. And my first instinct was to say I'm sorry.
Right.
And then I was like, no, I was doing shit. And he
Right.
would never say I'm sorry to me about that.
Yeah.
So I just wrote back, busy running errands, call you in a bit.
Yeah. Right. Well,
But
Barbie
it
would
felt
approve.
almost like I was being rude. Like I had to think about it and I had to just like suck it up and he probably never even thought twice about it. So what's that about? Barbie knows.
Yeah, she's challenged her sister and her mom to go
Stop being polite?
basically go one day without saying sorry at all.
Oh my God.
And to say thank you instead. So thank you so much for heating up my food that was cold, or like
This is I saw something like a post a while back that said, "What if we changed all of the I'm sorry's to thank you?" Like,
yeah, that was
thank you for
Amy
being
Poehler. I
Oh,
think.
cool. Yeah, thank you for being understanding that I was running late,
Yes.
even though I
Sometimes
was perfectly on time today.
sometimes I think people go too far with it. Like if you need to say sorry, you should.
Right.
If you bump into someone, you should say sorry. Because I hate when people don't.
Yeah.
But
Oh my God, a guy like I had my grocery cart in a place that was like this guy didn't want it to be. There was enough room to get by. He did not have a grocery cart. He was just walking through the grocery store. And I had never gotten more of an annoyed look from a man. He was just looked like, and I was in Sprouts. It's like a health food store. You're not supposed to have a fucking
Sprouts.
attitude in Sprouts. You guys are like,
right, that is breaking the
and
rules for sure.
it took everything in my power to not say,
Excuse you.
yeah, you got a problem, buddy?
Oh,
I was like going to go there and I was like, maybe you just need some food. You're real hungry. And also you've grabbed 4 boxes of macaroni. So clearly you're impulse buying and you need to eat, Sarah.
comfort food.
Yeah, it was like I was hangry. But
Well, I think she makes a good point though about it sometimes being a reflex, and to maybe just be more aware of like, are you really sorry, or are you just like? She said that Barbie said
I love that we're like referencing Barbie right now.
that like
It's
sometimes
great.
if you get really excited and then you're like, oh sorry,
Yeah.
and she's like, it's almost like we're apologizing for taking up too much space.
Barbie!
Right.
I never thought I would have these kind of feelings towards things that are part of the Barbie world.
She might be a brainiac.
Dude,
What if she starts
I hope
watching
that they
the
really
Barbie?
do rebrand all that, because that would be a fun thing to, when I have daughters
Yeah.
or sons,
right.
to be like, look at this badass bitch.
Yeah, for sure.
She's
so
8
I think
inches
that's
tall,
a great
but
start.
she's tough.
She has a lot of subscribers too, so
I bet. I'm digging. There's somebody on Instagram. They're like it's a photographer or artist or something who takes like the vintage Barbies and poses them in cute
I've
places,
seen that.
and I'm obsessed. I think the ones that are like the retro 50s Barbies, like laying out in Italy on the beaches, look so cute, and they like pose it so it looks like they're regular size and they're just in those places.
Right.
And I was watching like the behind the scenes, and you know how we use the reflective lights,
Yeah.
like that round
They do?
metallic thing. Yeah, but it was only like
No.
4 inches big, and I was like, that's adorable.
where did they even get that?
Right. I was like, where did you get such a cute little reflector? It was so cute. I can imagine for like food shots and stuff like that.
Oh, right.
But it was still really cute to see like them holding it for them,
I
just
love
like
that
they do
Sarah's
for
watching
us.
like BTS shots of like Barbie photo shoots.
Totally am.
Wow.
And in my mind, I had to translate BTS, and I was like, wait, is that something sexual? No, behind the scenes. Got it. Susie taught me NSFW. Didn't know what that was.
Wow.
Didn't even know.
She was just opening stuff
Just
at work.
like click, 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 click.
Well, you know what would be great to open at work or anywhere is a box of Carbon 38 clothing.
I'm wearing them right now. I'm literally wearing my pants right now. Suze, how good does my bum look?
As soon as Sarah walked in, she's wearing, what are those called?
I don't know what they're called. They're, oh man, what are they called?
Well, they're like
It's
shiny
like a liquid
legging.
almost. They almost look like latexy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I got the maroon one, and I got the high-waisted black.
And Sarah was saying that they would be perfect, like, to work out in, but then that if you wore them with heels, it would be like grease.
For sure.
That
I've
last
seen
scene in
women
Grease.
all over Orange County wearing these, and going out with a leather jacket, the black leggings, and big black stilettos.
Super
and I'm like,
hot.
I love all of this.
That's Carbon 38 is performance fashion e-commerce that has these clothes that blur the lines between workout wear and street style, and Sarah is demonstrating that for us today.
I brought heels to throw on for later.
They make luxury accessible. They have like all different curated pieces from different places that mix style with function. They have really cute stuff.
I mean, adorable.
Yeah. I went for like a lot of crop tops myself.
Oh,
Yeah.
Crappy toppy mood.
But now that
yeah?
I've seen your leggings,
Well, see, you know what would look really good with these leggings?
a crop top.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I'll have to go back. They have a hoodie bodysuit that I'm obsessed with,
that.
too. I have to get that. That's so cute.
What are we waiting for?
I know.
Well, and now you can get a deal on it. Carbon 38 is, they get new arrivals daily from top luxury performance fashion labels, and you can go to carbon38.com and use code BRAIN for 20% off your order.
What?
That's carbon38.com, promo code BRAIN for 20%
That's a good discount.
off your purchase. Moving on.
These pants were sold out for a long time.
Oh my
They
God.
brought 'em
That's
back.
like okay.
Yeah,
You look great.
the black ones I got. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Did you hear about the bees that swarmed New York City and the bee cop?
No. Oh, wait. I did hear about the bee cop.
Isn't it cute?
What is the deal?
So I saw this picture that came up in my headline, and it was a picture of a hot dog stand, like, you know, Nathan's hot dog style, and the umbrella was covered in bees. They said there were probably 35,000 bees there.
image.
I'm like, what the hell?
Why is this happening?
Well, that's what I was wondering. I'm like, is this,
I
what
thought
is
we were
going
running
on?
low on bees.
Right. And so I was looking at Vice magazine, and they have an article, or I guess it's not magazine when it's online anymore, Vice Online, whatevs. And it was the interview with the cop who caught them and vacuumed them up.
Oh, yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, oh, they probably just, you know, used like some cop and put him in a bee suit or whatever. Au contraire, mon frère. He is the bee cop. There's two of them. And these two guys got the job after this guy, Tony Planankis, a.k.a. Tony Bees, retired. I'm not. He retired in 2014, and that was his name, Tony Bees.
You have got to be kidding
For
me.
real. And, well, his name was Tony Planankis, but they called him
Right.
Tony Bees.
It's like Paul Flart.
Yeah, totally.
Oh my
and so he
God.
was the official bee catcher for the NYPD, but he just retired in 2014, so they needed to find replacements. And so these two guys, Darren and Mike, became the new official
But
beekeepers.
okay, why are they calling them cops, though?
Because they're so they're not beekeepers. These are policemen. And I was like, did they train them for this? So I think it was Mike who was being interviewed.
Mike Bees?
Mike, his name, Lariano, but we'll call him Mike Bees for the story. So Mike Bees, what if he's like, because he's like the third one, they call him Mike C's because it would just be funny. So Mike Bees, he happened to he was just a guy who happened to be a cop and also a beekeeper. He got into beekeeping in 2008 when one of his friends did it.
Sarah.
I swear, I know the whole story about Mike. So he got into it in 2008 when one of his friends was beekeeping, and he was like, oh, what do you do? That seems crazy. And his friend was like, wait till you try my honey. And so he tried the honey, and he was like, oh, damn, that's the best honey I've ever tasted. So his wife bought him a starter kit, a beekeeper kit for his birthday or for Christmas or something, and it just sparked an interest, and he absolutely loves bees. And so when this guy retired, NYPD was like, hey, any of you guys know what to do with bees? And he was like, I do. And so he became the official beekeeper. And I was thinking, okay, this guy, they probably call him out like, what, once a year this happens, once in a blue moon? Guess how many calls he gets? They
What?
get how often this beekeeper cop is called to action.
Twice a day.
Twice a week.
Oh, twice a week.
That's a lot of bees.
That's a lot of bees.
And he said it's usually
What's he
between
doing normally?
15,000 to 40,000 bees in a hive. And then this is the funniest part of the article. They were like, well, what happens with the bees? And he's like, well, if anybody on site claims them, we legally have to give them to them.
No.
And I'm like, he's like, but that's never happened. He like asked to ask, do these bees
So
belong
then what
to
do they
anybody?
do?
They then become property of him.
And he puts them in his hive?
Yeah, he has like a whole beekeeping place where he like takes them and he puts them there, and then they either. Oh, so this was the cool part. He tells you why they do this. Right. Why are the bees swarming?
That's what I want to know.
Okay, so what happens is the queen stops to rest somewhere. So they decide that their hive, wherever they're living right now, isn't working. Like that whole colony collapse or whatever. They're like, we got to move. She wants a change of scenery. So the queen takes off. And the queen leaves, and they all follow based on scents and everything. So the pheromones. The queen lands somewhere, and then all the other bees land exactly where the queen is. So she really is just stopping to take a break. And then at that stopping point, they have this like scout bee. Like there's a specific bee whose job it is. He's basically like the location scout on movies. He decides where they're going to go live. He makes sure it's safe. And like they send that little bee goes out, and all the other bees just chill until this scout bee finds the right place. And then there's something, I don't know if he comes back or if somehow the pheromones send the message that he's found a new spot. And then they all get up and they go to that new spot.
Wow.
Right?
Yes.
And it's all just based on where the queen wants to. She's like, oh, I'm so exhausted. We're stopping on this hot dog stand to take a break. And they all just follow suit.
That is so weird.
And then I'm just like, well, what the fuck? They just sent the scout bee up, and then you just vacuumed them all up, and now the scout bee's never going to find home again, and these guys don't know where their new location is.
Right.
They
so
just
are
gotta
you
start
born
over.
into that, like, royalty? Where...
It's like a caste system, you think? Yeah.
Or is it, they can just assign a new scout?
No, I think it's like, it's got to be like biological,
Yeah.
It's got to be like that
An
is.
instinct.
Yeah, kind of like the queen is always.
I want to like bees real bad because I know how important they are.
Yeah,
but
why don't you?
I have an
Queens,
allergy.
Cardi B. Just anything, bee, Cardi B, actual bees.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, eat them all.
How
How do you feel about B. Arthur?
I love B.
Okay,
Arthur.
there you go.
That's
the
where I draw
exception
the
that
line.
proves the rule.
Right. They scare me, and
You're allergic, huh?
yeah.
What happens? Oh, you said not much.
No, a lot. I blow up like a balloon.
Like EpiPen?
Well, if
Have
I
we
got,
been over this? That you
Yes.
have one at the house?
And I said I
Okay.
need one.
Okay.
Because if I got stung in my face area, I would be in real trouble. That'd be quite a scene.
Did I tell you my brother swallowed a bee once and it stung him in the throat?
I believe that.
He was drinking, remember those squeezy Kool-Aid containers that back in the day that were
Yeah.
like clear plastic and in the shape of almost like a Coke bottle?
Yes.
And they would
Squeeze-Its.
Squeeze-Its. He was drinking one of those. A bee was inside. He squeezed it. It went down his throat, stung him, and he's highly allergic to him like you are. It swelled his face up, but only half of his face.
Oh, God.
It was like it stung in
That's
where the blood,
terrifying.
I don't know what blood was like going to only a certain part. He looked like the Elephant Man, but only on one side, and had to be rushed to the emergency room, all that stuff. Like hospital.
I got one in my pop can one time, and it went in my mouth. And then luckily I spit it out,
Oh my God, Suze!
and he just walked away. Isn't that terrifying?
Yes! That's like some like Disney movie where she like has bees in her mouth and spits it out.
Oh, my
What
God.
movie? What
Was
this
that
cartoon?
Little Mermaid?
And they're like spitting out bees. Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, not Little Mermaid at all.
Winnie the Pooh eats bees and he spits them out. That's what you're reminding me
That
of
I
right
get.
there.
Okay.
Yeah, honey.
I mean, he's asking for it.
Yeah, he's in their territory, really. This
Yeah.
is a long story about bees.
But great.
Yeah.
Thanks for that reporting, Sarah Bees.
Yeah, Sarah Bees.
Another thing that I want to report on is legacy bees. AKA Legacy Box. We were just talking about how we need to digitize all our old home movies, like from Adam's childhood, because I've never seen them.
Oh my gosh, I would love to see those. I bet he was a cute ass kid.
He was so cute, and I love the pictures that we have, but I want to see all the tapes too, because that's where the real gold mine. And you guys probably have them too, like old closets full of videotapes and film reels and all that stuff from your parents too, and your wedding video, whatever. And I had it done on with my stuff. I still need to watch a couple things, but it's really nice to get them digitized and then you have them forever. And you can rewatch stuff that you haven't seen in ages. And it's they're offering you a deal. There's never been a better time to digitally preserve your old home movies, film reels, and photos. Visit legacybox.com today to get started. Plus, for a limited time, they're offering our listeners a huge exclusive discount. Go to legacybox.com/brain to get 40% off your first order with this exclusive deal. Legacy Box starts at $45 or save up to $200 on the largest Legacy Box kit. Go to legacybox.com/brain and save 40% today. Start with just a few tapes or digitize your entire collection. Visit legacybox.com/brain. Enter our code BRAIN and save 40% on your Legacy Box today. Get started preserving your past. It's lovely.
For a bright future.
Oh, that's real
Feel
nice.
free to add that.
Tagline. Yeah. Do you want to hear about the history of hair removal?
Oh, please.
I know that you're into this.
I just removed some yesterday.
Did you?
From everywhere.
She's gonna
Between
be
the belly button and upper knees.
I wouldn't be surprised, though, if you were one of those people that
just went,
bucked the system.
You know, I go in phases. Sometimes I do that, but then I just feel better. I feel like...
How come guys don't feel better hairless, though?
I do not want a hairless man.
Yeah, but why? Because it's a societal construct. I'm not saying...
No, I like how it feels.
Okay, but...
A hairy chest.
What I'm getting at is... When you say, when you have the hair, you just don't feel quite right. Mm-hmm. So you remove it and then you feel like better. Yeah. But men don't have that same urge. Yeah. Why? Because they've been trained to not feel that way. Most men. I mean, some manscape and stuff, but in general, they're not removing all of their body hair like women are. Yeah.
But I don't want them to.
Oh my God. Okay, well... So hair removal began in the Stone Ages.
What?
Yeah. There are cave drawings of their people using seashells as tweezers.
The
squeezy kind. And flint and shark teeth as razors, even back then.
So why, if we've been removing hair for...
Like all of time.
All of time. Why has that not evolved to...
It's taking a long time.
Why?
I know.
It's almost like it's going in the other direction with me.
Sarah's getting more hair.
I am. And then I'm like, well, that's a new one.
It is weird. Well, eventually, though, you'll get less. Oh, God. As people age, they get less and less hair.
Right in time for me to be less and less interested in being hairless.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, so back then... Hair was a real problem in battle. Oh, yeah. For men, especially beards, they'd have to get rid of all of their body hair because they could, lose a battle because their hair. Even, you see that with football. That guy on the Steelers.
Yes.
I forget his name.
Oh, my gosh. He was always on the Head and Shoulders commercials or whatever, Herbal-Essence. Yeah, I can't remember either, but he's got great hair.
He has long, beautiful hair, curly, but sometimes... It can get caught and stuff. And
why don't they just braid it?
Yeah, I guess he doesn't like that look.
Yeah,
we can relate.
Yeah.
Dang, I'm bothered that I can't remember his name. Anyway, then Greece was the first example of a gender difference in how we saw men and women doing their hair. And
my mind went to the movie, not the actual people. I was like Sandy and Danny.
Hair, it's multiplied.
Right. Greece, got it.
Yeah, the country. And I'm assuming they mean ancient Greece.
Yes.
And then, so women were expected to literally have zero body hair except eyebrows and head hair. And sometimes they had to pull them out individually. They had very few choices. They could burn it off.
Oh my God.
Or they could pluck each hair.
I knew someone who I worked with in San Francisco at a beauty supply store who had only been plucking her leg hair her whole life, and now she didn't have any.
Why was she doing that, though?
I don't know. So I
trichotillomania or whatever?
It might be a little bit of that now that I think back on it.
Maybe.
And because she was like that, and she barely had any because she'd been doing that for so long.
That's weird.
My mom always told me don't ever shave and just get electrolysis or something like that. I'm like, are you crazy? That would take forever.
Right.
But
I
she
did
was
get
right.
electrolysis on my eyebrows in the 90s. That was a big mistake.
Yeah, that was not to rub it in.
It's true. And that's why when you got your microblading on your eyebrows, I didn't know that it only lasted a few years. And I was like, are you crazy?
She was
These
like,
are
what are you,
trends.
nuts? Yeah.
But that was because of my experience, because electrolysis is permanent.
Yeah, well, I'm never going to want more hair around my belly button area or areolas. So
That's a safe bet.
yeah.
Okay. So fast forward to like the early 1900s. We wore a lot of clothes, so people weren't really worried too much about shaving at that point because everything was covered up. But then in the 1920s, the flapper dresses, everyone was like, oh, shit.
Now I got to shave, but only up to the knee.
Right. So that's when there's some differences of opinion, but most people think that it's because of the change in fashion that led to that. Some people think that there was a shortage of silk stockings during World War II.
Oh, for real? Yes.
And so then,
I have heard that.
Yeah, people started buying razors and things.
And shaving.
For a while, though, people were getting X-rays, like radiation, to remove body hair.
What?
You know how, freaking chemo removes your body hair?
Get out.
But they didn't know radiation was deadly at the time. And so people were getting hurt, obviously. So they put the kibosh on that.
Wow. Hair removal really has come.
I know there's a lot to it.
Yeah. When was the disposable razor?
Right.
I think just a razor that was
the
just
70s.
Yeah.
It wasn't that long ago.
And also, what were men? Because it feels like men have always been shaving their face. How long did men?
Well, that's what I mean. The battle thing.
Oh,
so they would have a beard, but then they'd remove it for.
I see.
War.
I get it now. Obviously, so really, it was the hair getting in the way of battle and stuff like that.
Yeah, and also they felt to be more hygienic, you would remove body hair.
Yeah, well, that's true.
It is true.
Yeah,
but men don't.
Yeah.
Because back in the early days, that was how you attracted mates and things.
Totally.
Hair was a lot more important when,
I'm trying to think if, but what I would be... What do I want? I don't want Landon to be waxed. I don't want him to be...
Well, I'm in the same boat, but I'm just acknowledging the fact that it's a cultural
it is.
thing that we're
what
taught.
I really don't like is just the in-between. And it's not based on what I'm taught. It's just I don't like stubble. It hurts. That's my biggest thing. Is like I don't mind if you have hair. I don't mind if you don't have hair.
Oh,
but don't have.
It sounds like you mind if men don't have hair.
Well, I'm thinking about it, and the only thing that's what I was trying to think about is like what is it that I don't like, and it's not the hairless part that I don't like.
Interesting.
It's when the hair is a little bit grown
Gotcha.
out and rubbing up against it, whether it's his face, whether it's other parts, whether it's his arms because he's tattooed, so he shaves his arms, and I just don't like the in between.
I never thought about the.
He shaves everything that. Well, he shaves his arms and then,
Yeah.
Because he's covered in... That would look so weird if you had...
I truly never thought about it. But I guess I thought that when you got a tattoo, maybe the hair was affected, but it's not.
Because think about if you get your scalp tattooed and those people and then their hair grows over it.
Right. Good point.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because the in-between is not pleasant.
I hate that.
So it's not the look that bothers you.
No, because I'm thinking I just saw the movie Crazy Rich Asians in which that guy has no hair on his body and I'm like mama-like.
He has no body hair?
Well, I think he maybe has a little... I was too distracted by the rest of him, but that is... And I think about Ali Wong and her stand-up comedy that she does, and she talks about how she dated a guy who was Jewish and what that felt like, and then she dated a guy who... And now her husband is Chinese and Korean, I think.
Yeah.
And she said he's like a dolphin.
That's right. I remember now.
And
I always forget about how Asians have different type of body hair than other ethnicities. Interesting. Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I read an article about how you feel about the gym how you feel about gym class when you were a kid is how you feel about exercising now. The studies show.
Okay, how did you feel?
That? I liked gym. So I feel like I don't fit this study.
But I think you do, because you still are committed to a regular workout routine, even if it doesn't look like what other people's looks like. You are consistent.
I sure am. Every day I exercise.
Okay, there you go.
But I don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like, but I loved gym class. But they were saying how, let's say you were picked last.
Yeah.
And you experienced
That's
like,
me.
What's the word?
I hated
Humiliation.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay. Oh, and you don't really like working out. You like competition. We've discussed this. Maybe that's what we both liked about gym. Is like we like competition, but we don't
competition.
Other stuff. By the way, this is off topic, kind of. But I was thinking about how when we were growing up, I don't think that they let us drink water enough at school. Because now I
don't remember drinking water ever at school.
Well, they had fountains, but like a trickle came out and you'd have to practically suck the thing.
And I was too scared that like I had this one kid in class who every time I drank water at the water fountain, looking back, he obviously had a crush on me.
Okay.
But he would snap my bra.
That is so rude. I am not into that.
I hated him.
Get
Jeremy.
your disgusting...
He liked beagles.
I thought you were going to say Jeremy Bees.
No, but that would have been hilarious. Jeremy Bees. He liked beagles.
Jeremy Beagles.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it makes sense. Wait, let me finish this water thing.
Yeah.
Because Lincoln, when he goes to school, they all take little thermoses of water, and he drinks it all day.
Yeah.
And back when I was a kid, and I think when you were a kid, like if you did get thirsty, you had to raise your hand and say, "Can I go get a drink?"
Yes, that's totally true.
And there's no way we were drinking enough
definitely
water.
Not. I don't ever remember one time even bringing that thermos to school, and it was probably filled with like milk.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
No, I didn't.
Scene.
No.
And so I would just like to say that's an improvement in our culture.
Snaps for schools.
But no snapping bras.
Yeah, none of that.
But I don't know. Let's talk more about this exercise thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if like... I think we're weird.
But I did... I felt... here's where I can see how it feels the same.
Yeah.
Is when I was playing on the playground... I was really good at whatever I was doing, or I was pretty good at whatever I was doing, but I felt like a loser.
What?
I remember feeling like everybody else looks cooler than me when they do this, and I felt like I wasn't part of... I remember I got the highest score on the sit and reach. You know when they do the statewide physical fitness test that they have you do, or you have to like run a mile, do a
sit and reach?
Sit and reach is where you just sit down and you bend forward and you try to touch your toes, and it's like flexibility.
Shut up.
And they measure that, and I got the highest score on the sit and reach.
Good for
and
you, Sarah.
I was just flexible,
Hello, lady.
but and I did okay on the mile run. But I did terrible on the pull up. But so did everybody.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I was just like the worst athlete. I just labeled myself like, because I just did weird. I got picked on anyway because I was a weirdo, but whatevs. And then I just had odd, like, embarrassing moments that took place at gym class. Like, gym class I didn't not like it because it was a physical activity. I didn't like it because of the social stuff that went with it.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I was at gym class when my arch nemesis called me out to the field, and she had all the boys lined up, and she was who I ran against in the 6th grade presidential race and lost.
Oh my God, Sarah.
She lined all the boys up and she says, "Who do you like better, me or Sarah?" And they went one by one and all said her, and nobody said Sarah. And it was just devastating. And this all happened while I was wearing my gym at gym class, and I was just like, this fucking sucks. Gym is the worst.
I'm sorry
and
that
so
happened
like
to you.
that part sucked.
I'm sorry.
Oh, thanks, Suze. She
That's
wasn't.
awful.
So
She probably is
and then I got
now.
in trouble for crying in the bathroom. They yelled at me and they were like, "You need to be outside and you can't be in here right now." And then they like got mad at me because I was
Where
crying.
did you go to school? Prison?
It sounds like it. Wildwood Elementary.
I'll say.
Yeah, well, it was wild out there.
Good night.
So that was hard for me, but I did like the sports side of it. I did like playing, but I also felt like I wanted to play with the boys, and I got always stuck playing with the girls. But the competition was what the boys were doing, and that's what I really want. None of this stupid social stuff.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I think that what the article was speaking to is basically what you're describing.
Yes.
That it's not really about the actual athleticism or sporting. It's about the emotional moments that you have that inform how your brain reacts when it's in that setting again as an adult.
Yes. And I do feel like that at the gym. I'm like, you are a loser here. Like I always say to my trainer, whoever I had, I just want to get to the point where I look cool doing whatever workout we're doing. Like, let's just I just want to look cool when I'm doing a squat.
That's
I don't care.
very interesting to me.
And I always just felt like, oh my God, even just even just the kind of hair I have, I felt like didn't translate into the kind of girl who works out and is at the gym, because I just look like a crazy person when I'm sweaty. It's just I look insane. I'm very sweaty. My hair gets huge. I wear cheap, dirty clothes to the gym because why on earth would I spend a bunch of money on clothes that I'm essentially going to sweat in unless I'm wearing them any place but the gym? My cute athleisure clothes that I just wear on the regs, but...
You and I are a weird pair because everyone thinks of you as this super confident, knows who she is, whatever. But I actually am. I walk in with a totally fucked up sense of confidence. I'm I am great, which is so unlikable and gross. But it's just how I feel where I'm like, what?
I wish I had some
But
of that.
you walk in and you're like, and I suck at whatever it is. But then you are actually good at it and you're like, I'm terrible.
I look awful. Right.
What is wrong? We need to do a Freaky Friday thing.
We totally do. I just need to know what
match.
it feels like to just walk in and be like, yes, all eyes on me.
I mean, I don't know how to describe it because it's not like I feel better than. It's just a sense of
it's confidence and it's self-worth, high self-worth. And
yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
Because I'm sick of I think it's fueled by anger, actually, but we can talk about that another time. Okay. I wanted to mention this. You know how Facebook is basically infiltrating every aspect of our lives, and it's so expansive and so many people use it that it can't help but have these huge consequences, which we've seen in politics and otherwise. And I was reading about another one that we sort of probably all know in our minds but never really thought about, which is that they are making it so that many women are choosing to legally change their name when they get married to the unhyphenated double surname. So mine is Susie Meister Butler legally. Yeah. And there's no hyphen.
Because did Meister, because yours name is Susie Meister Butler, right?
My middle name is Meister now.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have another friend who just did that.
Right. It's really catching on.
Yeah.
Another thing that's catching on, though, is Liquid IV, thanks to us.
Yep.
Which is, I should have talked about it when we were talking about water. I really missed my transitional
really did.
Sweet spot.
Yeah, this one was a reach.
But this one was just hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Liquid IV are these little packets of electrolyte powder that you can put in your water that make it so that you hydrate faster. So equivalent of one bottle would be 2 to 3 bottles of water.
That's great.
It's so great. And we were just saying kids need to hydrate more. And it's so true. If your kid doesn't really like drinking water, you could they have different flavors that you can try. Yours is passion fruit is your favorite?
Yeah, I love passion fruit.
I like the lemony, limey, whatever one that
lemon
is.
lime.
Yeah, also known as. Or if you drink a little too much, these are great for a hangover.
Fantastic. I'm just saying for a friend.
Yeah, she's heard.
I've heard.
Or if you travel, they're great for on planes when you get dehydrated. We love Liquid IV. We know you will too. Right now, our listeners get 20% off at Liquid IV. Oh, wait. Liquid, I always do this wrong, -iv.com. When you use our code BRAIN, that's 20% off anything you order on Liquid IV's website. Go to liquid-iv.com and enter my promo code BRAIN to get your savings and start getting better hydration. That's liquid-iv.com, promo code BRAIN. Don't wait, get hydrated today, like the kids at school. Wait, okay. So on Facebook, when you get married...
Yes.
You can choose to change your name or keep it the same, just like in real life.
Yeah.
But most people end up doing including their maiden name because you want to be searchable.
Oh, yeah. People forget who you are on there.
Yeah,
They
like
can't
if you
find
were just Sarah Patterson, if you went to friend someone, they'd be like, who?
You can't even Google Sarah Patterson gives not me when
Yes,
you Google me.
Right. So many people that aren't in the public eye as well have the same thing. They want people to be able to find them.
Uh-huh.
And so you would think it would just be on Facebook, but it's actually trending legally at, Social Security where they track these things.
Oh, wow.
Whereas people used to have to choose whether keep a maiden, take the husband, or hyphenate. This gives you a fourth option.
Do you think how did your mom feel when you got rid of your middle name? She didn't care?
No.
Do you think there are people who would care about that?
Probably. There's a lot of moms that are way too involved in their kids'
Yeah, that's true.
decisions.
Look
as
at
adults.
me. I'm like already thinking about how I'm going to get involved in my future kids' life, and
you can keep.
I'm like, that middle name is so important, and I just cared so much, and you're named after your grandmother, and I would be so sad if I had a daughter and I named her the middle name that was my grandmother's name, which was like my plan, and if she got rid of that, it would feel crushing.
My name wasn't important though, and we tried to change it when I was a kid because my mom was like, "Why did I choose Marie? That's so dumb," and we were like, "Well, let's change it." But
that's so funny. Your mom was peer pressured into picking Marie because it was popular.
Yes, it was just like it just rolled off the tongue. Susan Marie. Okay, done.
So
she
my
was
mom,
busy.
Sally Ann. It's like the same thing. She got that middle name.
You can choose. Like, let's say you chose Sarah Whitney Rice Patterson.
Yeah,
that'd be allowed.
My God, I sound like a law firm.
But the example that they gave, because they said most examples of this when people are doing it legally are highly educated people that have a lot of success and they want their resume is tied to their name. It's all searchability is very important professionally speaking. But they gave an example of someone that you don't think of in those terms, although she's very successful. Kim Kardashian West is doing this double surname with no hyphen.
Yeah.
And so she's quite successful and her last name is very important in the same way.
She can't,
But it's not who I would have thought of or pictured, right? You picture like your doctor or whatever.
But then I just picture somebody who also sees the value of holding on, of maintaining their identity as a person, not,
The article was saying, though, that it's more flexible than a hyphen, which is, they called it like crazy glue because once you hyphenate, that's your whole last name. You have to say it like that every time.
I see.
Like with us, like I go by Susie Meister professionally.
Oh, I'm getting okay.
Yes,
that makes sense. I see what you're saying now. Yeah,
this is a
it's
nicer
like makes
option.
it versatile. All of a sudden, your name becomes versatile, flexible.
Yeah,
huh.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
and it's like
I'm not a big fan of hyphenated last names.
Well, they said they're cumbersome, aren't they?
Yeah.
They just, you feel like you're saying you have marbles in your mouth.
For sure. And then I think, what if, when that child gets married, like what do we drop in here? What are we going to do?
Right.
Could you imagine that?
Let me think.
So say Susie
if you
Meister
named your
Butler
kid,
married.
Yeah, but that's
Jordan,
my married name.
No, your child, whose last name, say Lincoln.
Like if I hyphenated his name.
Yes.
Yeah, some people do that.
And I know, even in our practice, there's some people who come in and they have a hyphenated last name. And I'm thinking, what happens when they get married? And then what if you have two people with hyphenated last names?
The last name situation is a real problem. Because it's antiquated in terms of
totally
the origins.
What are we going to do about that?
There's
what's
no
the
real
new
good
option?
answer.
There's really none, right?
Because when you're creating, unless you pick a new name.
Yeah, it kind of feels like but then it's like genealogy and they get rid of the whole that. I don't give a crap about my last name.
Maybe
I
it should
like
be
the
like
new
Madonna.
one better.
What?
Patterson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to be associated with Rice.
Well, we were saying this on another episode, how you either are choosing to be your dad's property or your husband's property.
Right, which I hate.
There's no just like, unless you take your mom's last name.
Yeah, Brown. That was fun.
But no matter how you do it, it's from a man.
She was Sally Brown Rice.
Shut up. Mm-hmm. Why have you not told me this?
I can't believe I didn't.
And then you became Sarah Rice Patty, and when we discovered that was the best.
That was the best, Sarah Rice Patty. every single thing in my life changed into like my internet, my wireless.
No, Sarah, it was before you were even with him. Was Rice Patty?
Oh, you're right.
Yes.
Shut up, Susie. You are right. Okay, let me explain this for our listeners. So it's all coming back to me. Susie came over to my apartment.
Yes.
And you were like, what is your Wi-Fi network? And I said, it's the Rice Patty, because my last name is Rice and this is my pad.
Yes.
And then I married somebody with the last name Patterson, and Susie was like, oh my God, you are now legally Sarah Rice Patty.
And it's the best.
And I forgot that one came before the other. That is so great.
That's what you say is universe shit. Like, that's weird.
Weird. And it was the name of my wireless network before I got married.
Right.
Wow!
I mean, come on.
Mind blown. You're right, because
blown.
you met me before I was with Landon.
Yeah.
Dude. Mm-hmm. Whoa.
And, like, until that day when you said, Rice Patty, I weirdly never thought of your name as, like, the food.
Right.
How dumb is that?
What would you think?
It was just a last name.
Right.
That's so weird.
I've had 3 or 4 times in my life, maybe more. It's for some reason it's gate guards when I go into like a gated community or something who have, and this does not happen now, but it happened. I remember when I first got my driver's license. So in like the 2000s, where people would go, I expected you to be Asian. They would actually say that. And I was like, oh, do better.
Yeah, because there's lots of Asians with that.
Right.
Name.
I was like,
you are what you eat.
That's awful.
Right.
Yeah. And then my best friend growing up, her last name was Sand. So we called each other the Grains.
Stop it. That's so awesome.
Right? And we were like in junior high. So I thought we were pretty clever.
That is clever.
Yeah. The Grains.
Sand. What ethnicity is that?
Norwegian.
Get out.
Yeah.
That is not what I would have guessed.
Yeah. And her family's very they're Norwegian.
Sand.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that makes sense. Like Anderson.
Yes. It's that. It's like derivative of that. And like.
Okay. Last names are fun.
Her brother's name is Jan. So like that, like very Norwegian. Jan.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, no matter how you slice it, the last name thing is complicated and there's no like right answer. You just got to figure out what works for you. And a lot of people apparently are choosing the unhyphenated double surname.
I love that.
Me too.
I got my
I
friend
consider
did it.
that progress.
And I always call people by like the OG name.
Oh, gee.
Like I never call people by their married names. Like I called them.
We should quit calling it a maiden name, by the way.
Yeah, I don't like that either.
What is the other word for it? I think there's another word for a maiden name.
Single lady.
Joy. Happiness.
Freedom.
So let me tell you something.
Tell me something.
I'm kind of just like putting this out there so that it like
just flown something into the universe here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm bookmarking it.
Okay.
So I think I'm going to try stand up again.
I am so excited for this. I think you absolutely should.
Thank you.
I can't wait. In fact, if you were to ask me, 60 years from now or however old we're going to be when we kick the bucket, what is my thing that I regret? I would be like, I never saw Susie do stand up.
This is about your dreams. That's so great. Well, we can't have that. I just can't get it. What usually happens with me is that there'll be I'll have an idea for what I want to do, and if I forget about it, then I know I don't want to do that. But if it keeps persisting, and life keeps throwing that pebble at your brain,
think you should, and
then I got to do it.
Yeah.
And I watched. Do
you have a style that you feel like is reflect like somebody?
No, what I have is an urgency because of what I'm reading about Louis C.K.
Oh my God, for real.
I'm angry.
You should be. And so we should be angry about not just him, about everybody, all the other ones who feel like it's like, oh, okay, well, nobody's mad at me anymore. I guess I can just come out and make a bunch of money now.
And nothing's funnier than a comedian who goes up angry. So I'm sure this will work out great. But when I heard that he went out and did a set without having made reparations, in my opinion, or amends in any way for his behavior towards other female comics who his careers he affected, and how disgusting that was, I was like, I can't go away. And part of the reason I stopped doing it was because when I performed I opened for Christina Pajitsky, and I was 9 months pregnant, and I got heckled for the pregnancy jokes. And I thought, this is too much. And it's so draining, and it's so hard to do.
Yeah.
And I was a new mom, and I thought, I can't keep doing this. I'll just tell jokes on Twitter. And I watched the Gary Shandling documentary.
Yep.
And I was simultaneously sort of repulsed by him as a human, but I kind of felt like connected to him in certain ways because he was very much into Buddhist Zen philosophies, and he practiced meditation and stuff like that, but he was like tormented by his own thoughts.
Yeah.
And like Sarah Silverman said in the documentary, Gary wasn't into Zen or Buddhism. Gary desired to have that Zen
peace.
Yeah, so he
Yeah.
chased it.
Yeah.
But that's different than obtaining
it.
it. And I get that. But I also feel like I have a lot of jokes I want to tell.
For sure.
So I'm like putting it out there so then I'm held accountable and someone's,
I can't wait. I think
will
you
ask me if I did it.
Can I come?
Answer. Yeah.
I didn't know if this was one of those things where like you don't want me to be there because like
I don't want you to be there, but the
Okay,
problem
see.
is that a lot of these shows, like open mic night type stuff, they're bringers. You got to bring people. I'm gonna have to bring brainiacs and be like, "Can you
for
guys
sure.
come?" Because
You can put a crew
they won't
together.
put you on stage unless you have like however many people.
Oh,
That's like
okay.
how
Well,
they
we can
fill
get you
up
a
the
crowd.
room.
No problem.
Yeah, so I'm
Fill it
like,
up.
yeah, but I'm not going to be good. It takes years to get really good, and you have to do it all the time. And I've never done that, and it makes me mad. But when I did it,
But it
I
makes
got
you mad.
laughs.
What do you mean? Which part of it makes it makes you mad that you've never
So-
put the work in to do it, or it makes you mad that you've never? Which part?
The
that you have
first
to do
time
that?
that I did stand up was a contest, and I won.
Oh my god!
And I didn't know that was crazy. That I had never ever been on stage before and won the
Okay.
whole show. The other people in the show had done it before. They just were competing as well, and I didn't put any value on that. I thought that's fun and I loved it.
Yeah.
But I didn't think, wait, maybe you are good at this or special in some way. And I was also,
God, it should have shown you that it came so easy that.
but it didn't feel like
Right,
that.
'cause
I
it came
thought
so easy.
everybody
Yeah.
this was their first night.
Oh my god!
And so
That's how you know it's a real gift.
I felt like there's a dissonance too when I go on stage with what people think is going to happen. So they're like busting the bar is really low.
Oh, that's funny.
And so maybe that's helpful. But I was also married. I was only 22, but I was married. Yeah. And this is most people in their 20s that are doing stand up, that's their life. And I was already
You had a
living
different
the life of a 30-year-old person.
Right.
And I get mad about that because I feel like I
what
missed
if kind
out.
of thing.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
I had started when I was 22 and then did it every week for then on,
Yes.
I would have a career
For
in
real.
comedy.
Yeah.
Because if you put in 8 years,
Yes.
Christina always said, you get in line. And there's going to be the Dane
Yep.
Cooks
You're
that
totally
cut
right.
the line and they get this huge success and you feel like that's not fair. But if you stay in line, your time
so
will
right.
come.
You're so right.
And I got out of line.
You're so right. Get back in line.
I'm
There's
gonna
no
get back in
reason
line.
that you can't.
And when we watched Betty White
Yeah.
documentary, I thought that woman is in her
There's
90s.
no timestamp on this. No age limit.
Yeah.
You're so right, Suze.
Yeah. So I'm going to do it.
That's so great.
Betty White documentary.
I'm proud of you for that.
Thanks. I didn't even do it.
Just
but
for, you know what this is also, it like full circle. Maybe it was the last episode we talked about fear.
listen to me carefully.
What?
Every time I do it, I will say I will never do that again.
Well, yeah. That's
because
what
it's
I think
a
the whole thing is like.
nightmare.
There's a part of that maybe is like your haunted house or your roller coaster. Mm-hmm. It gives the same like.
Yeah, because as
know?
soon as I'm done, I'm like, well, that was the best ever.
And don't you feel more confident?
Yeah.
Okay, so like just like, you know how some people say that dying is the thing that they're scared of most, and other people say speaking on stage
Yeah.
is the thing they're scared of most. So like,
Right.
you're doing the same way people go to haunted houses to face that, like not.
That's Jerry Seinfeld's
So-
joke. He's like, people would rather be in the casket than giving the eulogy.
That's great.
And it's so true. Like, because it's
Maybe work on your Seinfeld
terrible.
impression a little.
Yeah, what's he do? Yeah, luckily I don't do impressions.
I'm
But
just giving you a hard time.
I think that will be fun. And I just really wanted to say it so that then you're like, Suze. Like, not immediately, because I want to work out the jokes and stuff.
I feel like you'll have really good material now that you are a parent.
Oh my God, do you think that's like my thing?
Not that you're a parent, like comedy, but I feel like being a parent and giving like the kind of, maybe it's because you become more cynical as you get older or whatever. Yeah. But I think about the kind of comedy that you would do at 22 versus what your comedy would be like now.
Yes.
And maybe it's just because I'm older too, but I love.
Ali Wong is great. And the comics I like are older.
Yeah.
You're right.
So I wonder if it's just because I like, and I don't think it has anything to do with the kid part. I don't like, comics who are like, oh, I only make jokes about.
It's how it changes you as a personality. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're invited, and I'm gonna keep the Brainiacs posted because then they maybe will come and I can like. They totally will, and that would be, and they'll laugh
for real. I'll be, how I am at stand-up shows.
Oh my God! Right?
I mean,
here's the thing. Like, not to get too much into this, but when you have people in the audience and you're bombing, it is hell.
Awful. Oh, because like when you have friends in the audience and you're bombing, you're not going to bomb.
I've bombed. No. I've bombed for sure. And it's so sucky when people in the audience know you because they're more upset than you are.
Oh, for sure.
I know that's the case.
I 100% would be more, because it would be devastating to me if people did not think what you're saying were funny.
There's no mistaking it either. It's not like, well, maybe they liked it. Oh,
I don't know if I could handle that.
And we've all been in comedy shows that weren't working, and you think, oh, this is cringeworthy.
Except I'm like the courtesy laugher.
Thank you.
I am. I am the one who's so like, nice. I got like anytime, because I just
you're just like my sister.
I feel bad for the ones who like, and it just somebody out there thinks it's funny.
Oh my God,
I don't know.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
that's all for now. Anything else you want to get to?
I've talked about bees.
Did you guys leave us a review? We love them.
Love them.
I mean, the good ones.
Oh yeah, 5 stars.
5 stars only.
Bye, friends.
Don't forget. Bye.